July. And this is absolutely fantastic for both the leagues, D1 Racing and IDRL, their first collaboration. And we are absolutely thrilled to bring you some of the top class drone racers in Asia. Joining today, as we have already, is Rathi FPV from Bangalore. And Rathi will also be giving us some of the background of these pilots. But just before that, you see on the screen on your bottom left are the two races that we have lined up for you. And it's a pretty straightforward procedure that we have. Race 1 will be composed of 6 pilots. Race 2 will be composed of 6 different pilots. And the top 3 from each of the races 1 and 2 will make it into the race 3, which will again be composed of 6 pilots. So each of the races have also Heat 1, Heat 2, and Heat 3, and the 6 pilots will be flying together. So Rathi, if you can just introduce the pilots from race 1, and then we can get started with Heat number 1 straight away.
All right. So in race 1, we have Adi Putra, who's a pilot from Singapore. Is FPV, who's a pilot from Singapore again. There's Werner FPV, who's from Singapore. There is Pamilis, who's from Malaysia. And there is okay, yeah, sorry.
Dude
Yeah,
is Lemon.
and Dew is Lemon is sadly not here with us. Otherwise, he's a pilot from Brunei. Sadly, he can't join us in this session.
All right.
So, Karan, what do you expect from these pilots? This is pretty much all the international pilots in one race. What do you expect? Do you expect really great racing, or, uh, I mean, against each other? Because we haven't ever seen them perform, right?
I know it's going to be a surprise box, isn't it, for us, Rathi? It's going to be the first time that we're going to witness these top Asia drone racers. They have been racing with D1 for a while, but now with this new collaboration, bringing them with the Indian pilots, who we know very well, it's going to be a surprise package. So let's see what happens. I'm pretty confident Indian pilots have been training pretty hard throughout these weeks following, and they have been given very short notices, but they have done pretty well to qualify into this D1 Pro League. So I'm very, very proud about the Indian pilots, but at the same time, I'm extremely proud about the international collaboration that we have going here. And it's a great thing for the entire drone racing community. So this is going to take drone racing to a whole new level. And I really thank D1 for their initiative on this. Also, we thank our local sponsors, One Martian Way, IRC, GetTBS.in, Quadcopters, and Zine Drone Racing. And let's see, I mean, the first on the lineup, we have Vardana, Adiputra is FPV, Pamilas, OSS is from India, and Dude is a Lemon. So only one Indian pilot out there, the rest are international. And before we go into heat number 1, just let's a quick overview of the track. Let's show you the track from the variety of camera angles that we will be capturing out here. You can see brilliantly that D1 logo in the industrial wasteland sort of a track that we have, and it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. Look at that, those views coming in. Yeah, and this is just from the third person view that we are capturing these views. When you look at it from the FPV first person view, it's going to be quite magical. And so far, these are the cameras that we have. Let's switch to some of the pilots that are flying already out there. You can see Vardana, an international pilot, already, showing his skills out there, roaming around that
Karan,
D1 logo.
Karan, I think you're supposed to switch them to flying as well now. They aren't. They're spectating at the moment, so.
Okay, cool. So we'll be switching some of these pilots to flying mode so that we get ready for race number 1. Web FPV, we have to kick you out. Will be in flying mode. Uh, and then we have OSS FPV also in flying mode. Pamilas is in flying. Vadana is already in flying. Adiputra will be in flying. And then we lock the server out here, and then we go for the big heat one coming up. Wadana, there is, let's see some of the other pilots if you can get a quick heads up as to their flying out here. Look at that brilliant logo coming up. It's a beautiful track. D1 Racing really does design some extraordinary tracks on an international scale out here. There is really no beating them on that track kind of a design. Really have their own going out there. OSS has just crashed out, but looks like he's recovering, and Pamelas is another pilot just waiting to get ready for heat number one. Adiputra, another pilot, looking so good. All these top pilots, and they are going to take on one Indian pilot right now, OSS FPB. And also OSS FPB, we have to give you a quick heads up. She is the first Indian female pilot to qualify at an international level. So very proud of her. Hope that she does pretty well. And let's go straight into the action, guys. I'll give you about 30 seconds, and after 30 seconds, all of you have to be on the podium, and we will be starting the race number one with heat number one. So there you go, 20 seconds on the clock remaining. All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we will be starting the race now. There you go, all the pilots lined up. We are viewing the race and the heat number one through the eyes of ISFPV right now. And he's climbed up straight up on that D1 logo. A little bit of a recovery that will be needed. Let's see from the third person view how these pilots are looking at the moment. We will have to zoom into some of these views out here through different camera angles. Look at that, the Indian pilot OSS FPV trying to navigate the track at the moment. Pamelas is another pilot looking good in that yellow stream, yellow colored drone. Another pilot is Adiputra. It's a little bit of blockage out here with the buildings, so we'll have to navigate around those buildings to bring you the best quality of a view that we can get through these pilots. And remember, these pilots are flying really hard, very, very fast, so we'll have to really catch them when they are looking at their best form. So they just started with their heat number one. Rathi, so far, how is it looking for you?
I think it's clear to say that Adiputra has a great lead at the moment compared to that of our Indian pilot who is still in lap one, while Adiputra is almost about to lap her. We can see the same trend with Is FPV as well. I think these both are, these two guys are gonna win the race for their respective countries, obviously. At the moment, I think looking at the track, there is a huge, I would say, the biggest challenge in this track is obviously going through the tall D1 gate and going all the way back to the bottom for the other D1 gate again, which is at the bottom.
Right.
I think the elevation change does make it very difficult for anybody to navigate through it with crazy pace. And Adiputra and Is FPV have locked it down for themselves, and they're looking very good at the moment.
Yeah, and interesting obstacles too. I just saw a helicopter out there, and it's kind of a fun gate to go through. And as well, the most difficult element that I saw was that dive through the square. I believe so. That's that's really difficult. So Adiputra has completed his lap 3 gate 35, all the 35 gates of lap 3, and he becomes the first person, position number one. And is FPB has just completed as well. Wadana has just completed his round. And then OSS will be looking, the Indian pilot still remaining. She's just warming up in this game, and about 20 odd gates to go from here on. And Pamelas is also following her. So let's see where Pamelas and OSS are from sort of a third person view, if they are close to each other or not at this moment. That's Pamelas, international pilot, and going through that D1 racing gate out there. I really like
So
those.
I think,
Yeah.
Karan, from whatever experience I've had racing this track, I felt that the gate after, I would say the gate that you have to dive into
Right.
from the top point and exit out from a window of it. I think it's one of the warehouse gates, and including I think the last three gates. They are actually one of the more difficult gates because I think it's easy to underestimate these gates and easy to get them wrong. As we just saw, OSS and Pamela both have completed the race.
Oh, yeah. So that was the end of heat number one, guys. An interesting start to this international D1 IDRL professionals. And Adiputra takes the first spot in heat number one, followed rather a little closely, not that close. Adiputra is way ahead of the pack at this moment, but anything can happen. They might be just warming up. So at this point, Adiputra 1 is FPV number 2 with 2 minutes 15 seconds. Verdna FPV at 2 minutes 16 seconds, very close to his FPV. So that's going to be, some competition that we're going to watch in between. Look at that, just about a second of a difference between them. And Pamela takes spot number 4, and Oasis, who was leading actually Pamela's in spot 4, is actually finished in spot number 5. The pilots are back into the pit area, and if all the pilots are ready, we will be going. But we will still give about 30 seconds of this intermediate thing to go for the pilots to practice. Let's give them 45 seconds from here on. Till then, Rati, if you can just predict if what's going to happen in round 2 now with such an interesting competition going on.
I think is FPV and Aliputra are definitely going to give us very good and exciting racing because I did see their lines that they were taking and it was very clean. I think is FPV did lose out a little bit because is FPV did crash here and there. We can see that I think Verdna FPV is going to stay stably in third place because Tamils and OSS FPV still have to uh, show the command that they have in this game. Otherwise, we can see that Wagner and SFPV are very close to each other in terms of this heat at least.
Oh, yeah. So, guys, get ready. About 10 seconds to go now. And that's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there you go. 5,
5
4,
minute, a 5 second timer, sorry.
2, 1. Let's cover them. Adiputra, we're covering the top view of these pilots. A superb display of skill out there from Adiputra, state of the block, and closely followed by Is FPV and Verdna. All of those pilots looking brilliant out there. Looks like they have had a good practice run of this lap. And it's kind of a difficult one, I would say, because there are some building blockages out there in between. They have to navigate through those towers, through those bricks kind of buildings and those towers, as well as the helicopter that's outside. Look at that. They're going through that helicopter gate and then coming into that kind of a shelf area straight away on the horizontal view. So it's quite crowded, Rati, in this kind of a mode. It's not really that open. What do you think about the complexity with that kind of a crowding?
I think crowding obviously makes for really exciting racing. As I've seen, is FPV and Verdna, is FPV and Adiputra have been battling it out with each other in the top 3 spot. I think we had predicted this just before this race started, saying that we would see really close racing from the 3 of these guys. What's happening with, I mean, from my experience again, the helicopter gate is actually very off-putting because it's kind of off the racing line and it's not a very smooth entry. And if you mess up on the entry, you will obviously crash out. So because of this, the helicopter gate does seem like a little bit of a challenge. But I think is FPV, Varna, and Adiputra have been navigating their way through in a very, I would say, in a very brilliant manner.
Oh yeah, and look at that. Now Verdna is on the charge over here, and Adiputra has fallen to spot number 3. I'm not sure if I recollected seeing him crash or something, but he's definitely trying to come back out there. Is FPV is has to keep an eye on Adiputra because Adiputra is getting closer and closer. Let's look at this competition from the third-person view because this is going
Uh,
to get interesting. Adiputra between Adiputra and
Adiputra just
oh
crashed again,
oh my God.
and
So
I think he has lost a little bit of his focus.
right.
So hopefully he gets his focus back and he can actually compete, not letting Pamela's get ahead of him.
Right.
And I think he has just completed the race.
So those top 3 pilots have completed. Right now, we take a look at, let's tune into Pamela's feed out here from the 3D. And, it's going to be a little close. I think OSS is giving Pamela a good run for his money. And Pamela's has to really drive it a little too ahead if he has to stay ahead of OSS. And
I think the complexity of this track is actually a very fun one to see because a lot of people mess up at a lot of different points. And again, if you mess up in one small area, you're bound to mess up in the next area at least because your lines have to be robotically clean, I would say.
oh yeah,
Otherwise, there is no way that you're getting through certain gates or certain. I would say there's no way you can get past the certain uh, places to fly through because of these sort of. I mean, if you do mess up your racing line, if you do
correct.
have inconsistencies in your
So
racing line.
that's the scoring of heat number two. Verdna has come in at position number one. Adiputra, unfortunately, not sure what happened there, but quite a few mistakes that we found out there. He's dropped to position number three. Is FPV has taken the advantage out there and landed himself about 50 points from that heat. Pamilas and OSS FPV also getting closer and closer to each other. That's a good competition to watch in spots number 4 and 5. We'll now start about a 1 minute timer that we usually do. And in this 1 minute timer, the pilots get to practice. And let's see how close they'll be getting in this third heat, because this third heat is going to be really important. This is what is going to drive these pilots into race number three. The top three pilots are going to qualify. But at this point, Rati, it's pretty clear the top three pilots are Verdna, Is, and Adiputra. I mean, the sixth pilot, I'm not really sure how much competition would he have given, since we don't know, he was not here present, but these three pilots are definitely qualifying.
Yes, I think that has to be put in because we can see that Pamlis is actually quite slow compared to even Adiputra in this round. And I think Warner is and Adiputra will be going ahead for the next race, which is the race number three.
All right, guys, 15 seconds on the clock to get ready. Get ready on the podium to get started. 10 minutes, 10 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go. Race starting in less than 5. We are tuned into one of the top pilots now. Adiputra has to really show his game out here with Verdna and Is FPB getting very close to his tail. D1 Racing,
Adiputra getting a
yeah.
very great start. I think if he doesn't mess up in this round, I think it should be a clear win for him.
Yeah, and Adiputra really gets off the charts really well. It's just that if he's able to hold on, he might be susceptible to a little bit of a pressure. I'm guessing at this point, but I haven't. That may be too less of a sample size, as we usually say, to determine somebody's ability. So if he holds on to this race under pressure, definitely Adiputra will have great chances in race number three. But look at that, Verdna and his FPB, they are all giving him a tough time out there on the track. So if we look at it from the third person view, we will see all these pilots really closing into each other. Look at that. Verdna right at the tail of Adiputra out there.
We can just about see the flash of Adiputra in the FPV view, just about going right a little ahead of Werner. But I think Adiputra did crash, and Werner FPV is now ahead again.
Oh yeah, and Verdna has come back. I mean, this is the lap that Verdna really comes back into. We have seen it in the round number two, and Adiputra makes a bit of a mistake. I'm not sure if it's a little bit of a gate that is troubling him at this point, and which one is it? We'll have to really see. But Adiputra is a good 7 gates away now from Verdna, who is the leader at this point in time. So let's tune into Verdna's FPV view, because Verdna is doing pretty well at this point, ahead of the competition by a few gates. And Adiputra is a little bit
Again,
behind.
yeah, sorry, he is a little bit behind, but I don't think he's that behind from Werner. Or I think Werner is just about to complete the race. I think Werner has completed the race.
Right.
Sadly enough for Adiputra, I think Werner just got a little bit of a too. I mean, he got too much of an advantage from Adiputra's mistake, and he has made a very good opportunity for himself.
This is really a high speed flying out here, high class flying as well. Asia's best drone racers competing today at D1 IDRL professionals. Some viewers who have just joined in, they are definitely enjoying the magic that's happening out here. So let's tune into OSS FPV, who is leading Pamilas in this round. So maybe we hope that it's going to be a good finish for her. Versus again a new pilot from India, and she has really picked up well to get into this international leg of Asia. So that's OSS from India, and Pamila's Rathi is from which country you said? Pamila's
Pamela's is from Malaysia.
Malaysia. So it's India
Yeah.
versus Malaysia going on right now, and
I
Malaysia,
think,
yeah,
sadly enough, I think the weak point of OSS FPV is to get out of the building. I would say, like the small tunneled-in building that we have two doorways that lead to the next gate, to the next D1 gate, which is at the floor. I think she is constantly crashing there, and hopefully, if we do give her the 1 minute time, I think she should just make that one line of hers much better, because I see that she's only losing time because of a crash there. And in this heat, we can see that Werner FPV, Adiputra, in the respective order of their finishing, we have Werner FPV, Adiputra is OSS, and Pamela's. So uh, for the first time, OSS FPV has overtaken Pamela's FPV.
right. So Verdna definitely qualifies into race number 3. So does Ariputra, and so does Is. So congratulations to these 3 pilots to making it into race number 3. We'll be having a 1 minute timer. And now let's not continue. Sorry. Let's get the other guys into the race now. Sort of open up the server now, and let's get the other guys. This is race number 2 coming up for you.
Guys, if you quickly join the Velocitron server.
So yeah, there we are. We are now waiting for the pilots from race number 2 coming up for you. AJ underscore has joined us already, and we'll have to see how this goes with heat number 1 for these pilots. Again, never seen these Asia drone racers before, but as we get acquainted to them, like Verdna, Adiputra, and Is, we'll get acquainted to these new pilots as well. From an Indian standpoint point of view, being acquainted to international pilots is really great because the competition out there in the world is really, really tough out there, isn't it, Rati? These pilots really practice day in and day out.
I think from the IDRL point of view, I think we went for a race in Malaysia. It was called the Asian Drone League. I think I did meet a few of the international pilots there, and boy, was the competition difficult. Even in the beginners category, I don't think I kind of got ahead of myself, and I went for the pro class, and I pretty much just overtook one person. I was just so happy about the fact that I'd overtaken that one person. So yeah, I think there was like 36 pilots, and I came 35th. Whereas I'm pretty sure the people who won the beginner class would have easily floored me as well. So that was, I think, in the international level, it's quite a good exposure if you do get exposed to such racers, and I think this collaboration has always been really amazing. I think we saw pilots such as, in IDRL, legends such as Devnath and Shady or Law FPV actually go so ahead in the international scene, and actually showing the same sort of performance on track, just because of the um, amount of exposure they've had to virtual sim racing, etc.
Right. So let's,
Karan, also
yeah.
could you just change Davy FPV's this one to flying?
Okay, I think I changed that. Okay, wait, okay, got it. So locking the server now. The new pilots for race number 2 are AJ underscore Dev Web FPV Hornet. So Dev Web and Hornet from India. AJ is international. KXA FPV is international. Napster is from India. Propwash FPV is from India. So you can introduce the nationalities of these pilots. Those who are international. Rati, quickly.
We have I think we have KXA FPV who's from Singapore, and also in this race is AJ who's from Brunei.
All right.
And the Indian pilots are Hornet FPV, Napster, Pratik, and Dev FPV.
All right, guys. So we'll give you a 1 minute timer for practice. We'll start it right now. And 1 minute to go for your official heat number one to start.
Uh, Also, Karan, if you press right click on the person's name in the spectator mode,
Okay,
you can switch to their FPV feed.
cool, cool.
So yeah. I think the perspective, especially of the dive gate, has been fantastic. I think a lot of people are not messing up at elements such as the dive gate, but this track also has the complex elements which are, I mean, it goes from being very broad gates to actually very narrow gates, just like we saw entering the factory again through those small gates uh, to the D1 gate which is placed on the floor.
I'm just amazed by that big tower gate. It's a huge dive out there, isn't it? I mean, for these pilots.
Yes, exactly. I mean, they have to have very good lines in order to make it rather quick. So let's just. I
All
mean,
right,
we've
yeah.
seen Hornet FPV, Napster, Pratik, and I mean, we've seen Hornet FPV, Napster, and Pratik perform at the IDRL Stay at Home series. What do you expect of them in this race?
So we'll talk about that later a little bit, Shreyas. I think it's 1 minute time up. We'll have to go with this heat number one. So pilots, get ready on the podium, and let's get ready with this race coming up for you in less than 5. We're tuned into AJ underscore. And there you go. The pilots have started. Interesting to look if we can get a quick third-party view, 3D view of these pilots out there. Uh, there you go. The pilots all looking in different colors, and that's the beautiful gate that they have to dive into. That's the first dive gate, and there is another one, I believe. And right now we are seeing KXAFPB. KXAFPB, Hornet is looking especially good. He's giving a tough competition. All these three pilots, AJ underscore, Hornet, and KXA. And KXA is climbing up that ladder very quickly, I would say, going now into that helicopter thing and turning back.
AXFEV just had a small crash, but that didn't phase him really. Uh, Actually, it kind of did because Prop Porsche FPV went ahead of him, and so did Hornet for a while. But I think he has pulled it off, and he has gotten ahead of both Hornet and Prop Porsche FPV.
All right, so let's look at AJFPB's FPV view out here. A
I
wonderful
think
sight.
Napster is having a really difficult time navigating through the D1 dive gates. I think he is messing up over there quite a bit, and it's costing him quite a lot of time, and he has fallen right back down. We can see very close racing from Poposh, Hornet, and KXA FPV because they're neck and neck, and they're pretty much just a few gates apart. KXA FPV losing out just a little bit because I think he did crash on one of the gates.
And that's Hornet in the picture for you. We have still about 20 odd gates to go for AJ underscore. Can Hornet really catch up to AJ right now? It is possible because he's really climbing fast. He was about 10 gates away. Now he's about only 7 gates away. So, and Hornet's first round, I mean, this is just a warm up, I think, for him. But nevertheless, those crucial 10-point difference can make or break it because this is going to be all the way tough for the next few rounds. AJ right now holding Hornet at his sleeve. And oh my God, look at that. Hornet, and Hornet just about taking position number one. And oh my God, what happened out there? AJ, wow.
I
And
think
Hornet
AJ,
made it.
okay, I think AJ FPV kind of was relaxing because he saw that people were so far behind him, and I think you can see they finished within 1 second of each other, and that's a very close finish, I would say. KXA FPV just finishing, and so does Proposh. But I think AJ and Hornet, I think Hornet was a very big surprise coming in from battling it out at fourth and third to battling it out in second and third to actually getting number one spot. Go Hornet FPV. That was very good racing on your part, KXA FPV and AJ. I think KXA FPV is showing a lot of inconsistencies, mainly that he is crashing and because of which you see that he is losing out on time. But I think KXA FPV has been giving Hornet and Proposh a run for their money when it comes down to it. So if KXA FPV does iron out his issues, I think we can see him consistently at the top three spots.
Excellent. That was a real fine thing that happened right at the very end. Look at that millisecond of a difference, both at 2 minutes 15 seconds. This is a better chart. Hornet exactly 39 seconds, 360 milliseconds. Best lap, the total time was 2 minutes 15 seconds, 064, and AJ at the same seconds and 975 milliseconds. So you can see less than of a second difference, and Hornet really came back from behind to take over AJ. AJ was altogether about 7 or 8 gates ahead of AJ, and AJ was ahead of Hornet 7 or 8 gates, and then Hornet really closed that difference. As I was saying, 10 gates, 7 gates, and whenever he did that 3 or 2 and then 1 gate, it was obvious that he was going to hold on to that last second and not give AJ a chance. But KXA, Prop Wash, all of them, good performances that would boost their confidence. Napster also will want to get up there in positions 3 and 4 at least, and Dev Web FPV following just a little bit short of his expectations will be wanting to improve in round number 2. So that gives him 3 minutes 14 seconds, 954 milliseconds at the moment. Good performance overall. We'll be starting the 1 minute timer exactly right now, after which we will be
I
proceeding
think
with the heat number 2.
I think we've already given them enough time. I think we should proceed to the heat number 2 within a few seconds. I think a 10-second timer would do.
Uh, well, we have to keep it consistent, isn't it? Okay, let's give them a 30 seconds. So 30 seconds, guys. I think you have enough room. Everybody is out there ready. So a 30-second timer has started for you guys. So it would be really interesting to see the next round, isn't it, Rathi? And we are, okay, 30
I
seconds now.
think
Let's
I think Hornet FPV just made me jump out of my seat when he just clutched coming in from fourth place all the way to first. I thought Hornet FPV could maximum come third or second. So let's start with the race now.
Right, we're going ahead. Less than 5, less than 1. The pilots have started. Look at the view from Prop Wash FPV out here. All the pilots, look
Naps
at that
FPV
gorgeous
just
view through the D1 gate. Beautifully designed
Naps
truck once
FPV
again.
had a very good flying start. I think that was one of the best starts, and I think he tasted first place, maybe for a second, but he did taste it. Napster actually clutching this. I would say he's clutching this race because he's constantly behind KXA FPV in second place. Right now, it could be anybody's game. I think Napster was just warming up the last round, and now I think he's gotten his rhythm back. I think Napster just might get this.
Oh wow, yeah. But Hornet, he's not leaving Napster anytime soon, and so Hornet now catching up to KXA. KXA has come back. I mean, he was, I think, position 3 in the last round, but now Hornet is catching up to KXA. And look at that, AJ underscore is right at the bottom. I don't know if he
I
had a
think
crash, but he's far behind the competition at the moment.
I don't know exactly what happened to AJ either. I mean, I was hoping to see him in the top 3 in this round. I think he has fallen back. But you can see him slowly catching up to the leaders of this race. Maybe, again, Hornet did the same thing with AJ in the last round, and maybe AJ will come back and get the first place back from KXA FPV. KXA FPV, again, did mess up a lot of times during the last round, and because of which he did lose out on quite a bit of time. And I mean, Hornet FPV is just looking out to just looking out for any mistake that KXA does is because any opportunity given to Hornet FPV, and I think in the last round we saw he just picked up the scrapes and he just came. I mean, he just about clutched it at the end of the race.
Right now we are 3D viewed into KXA, and Napster is about 10 gates away. Maybe he does have a little bit of a chance, but it's a little too late in the race to call out for that chance. And KXA
I
has
think
was very professional performance from KXA this one.
I think Hornet FPV is disconnected for some reason. I think he got kicked off mid-game. Now we see that AJ has finally overtaken Hornet FPV, but I think it's a little too late, and it's not the position that AJ would have wanted. Prop Wash coming in quite in a high spot, I would say.
Yeah, but AJ still has 60 points in his bag with the first round, and this one he'll be getting, I believe, is at 40 points. Okay, 60, 50, 40, 30 points. I think he'll be scoring with this one. So still looking good. And the ones that are remaining are AJ. So let's tune into AJ's feed. AJ has completed, and the
I
only
think
ones
we're
remaining,
just waiting on Davy FPV and
yeah,
hopefully.
DBFPB also
Okay,
completing
Davy
pretty
FPV is
fast.
also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he just finished it. I think we'll start the 1 minute time and let's open the server back to let Hornet back inside.
Okay. So we'll start a 1 minute timer, guys, and then we'll open the server. As we just told you, the server is open. 1 minute timer has started. And overall, the rule is to give 2 minutes total if there is a disconnection, and then the pilot is disqualified for that particular
All right,
round.
then we shall be waiting for 2 minutes for Hornet FPV to join us again.
Correct.
Hornet
Yeah.
FPV is actually one of the greater pilots from uh, the stay-at-home series, the team called Kalinga Krakens, and I think all of us were surprised by his performance. I think especially by his teammate Oni FPV. I think their team is looking to be one of the strongest teams in IDRL, where I think all the three of the pilots, I mean, seeing Hornet FPV right now, I think all the three of these pilots have been doing very, very, very well over the virtual racing series.
So there you go. 50 seconds are up on the clock. We are just about less than, yeah, we're just about 1 minute away now for waiting for Hornet. Hornet has experienced some disconnection. If somebody can just quickly discord him, troubleshoot his problem, that might be solving his issue. Any kinds of resolutions could make the day for a pilot. Okay, so 44 seconds, 40 seconds left on the clock for Hornet, and then we'll be auto starting the heat number 3, the final one for these guys, race number 2 guys, and then we'll be seeing who qualifies for race 3. Vodna is
I
waiting, is FPV is waiting, and
I
also,
think the problem I think Hornet FPV is having a major internet issue. I think it's just sad to see that he will not be competing at the highest level of this race. Top Wash FPV might just get ahead because of this small issue.
all
I
right, so
think
we are
we can see.
just about 5 seconds, guys. We'll be starting the race now. Get ready on
Okay,
your
Hornet
podium.
FPV. 1 second. Hornet FPV has just joined. He's done a clutch again. I would say he just
Wow.
repeated the whole first round thing.
It's just on the
Yeah. So I
clock there,
think
Hornet.
yeah.
Amazing.
Okay
This
then.
pilot really has a knack to come back. So let's get going,
Of course.
guys. Your
Yes. Let's get
timer
going.
starts now. We are tuned into prop wash, and we'll be seeing the other pilots from the eyes of prop wash FPV. Look at that beautiful colors, D1 in the background around that tower, into the high rise D1, into the lower D1 out there around the tower, another tower out there, lots of electrical towers out there, and prop wash experiencing a little bit of a stoppage. But right now in the lead is unusually Napster. And Napster was looking all the way good. I sensed something was going on with Napster, and Napster was really wanting to come back, and he's right now ruling the heat over here.
I think this heat again, Hornet FEV has some issues with his controller now, and I think we can't actually keep waiting for him. Sadly enough, because of his issues from his internet and his controller, he will be kicked out of this. I mean, he will be kicked out of the finals race. It's sad to see him go, but you can't help it. It's an unfortunate situation. Again, we're seeing Napster FPV is actually coming in first. I think Napster FPV again last time as well. He did a pretty good job, but I think this time he might actually get the scores for himself.
No, but look at
But I
that.
think
Yeah,
KXA
KXA
FPV,
is coming back. KXA is coming back out here.
I think KXA FPV just might overtake Napster in about a few gates. But KXA FPV and Proposh are looking very good. I think Proposh, if he does beat AJ FPV, can actually
This is such a close
give us
competition.
a.
Look at that.
I swear. I mean, it's very close for me. It's almost unpredictable for me to like say who's coming in to the top three. I think it's safe to say KXA FPV is coming in the next race, but who will it be? Who will accompany him? AJ lost out in last race. I mean, uh, in this race, he might as well, if he wins again or comes second, I think AJFEV will also go through. I think Hornet stole his victory in the first heat, but sadly enough, he's not here to compete in the second and the third heat.
And look at that now, KXA has taken the overdrive and gone into the kill and made it the first spot for him. Napster falling back into spot number 2. This is not a good thing for Napster. He should have held on to that last heat, last gate, but KXA kicks in spot number 1. Disappointing, and Napster losing out to AJ as well. AJ coming in from behind. What a surprise treat this has been, Rathi.
I think AJ tried what Hornet did to him and came in from behind and tried to win against at least Napster because KXAFEV had actually gone so far ahead. So Karan, what does it look like in the live? I mean, in the pilot roster, who do you think is going to come first?
Oh yeah, we'll have to look at the score chart over here. Let's try to get a better view. At this point, Napster is qualifying. No, sorry. Yeah, it's 110 for Napster. KXAFPB is. Oh, I'm not able to read it properly. Rati, can you take a look on the stream as to who has qualified exactly? Or maybe if the
Just give me a
viewers can
second.
help us out in that.
So at the moment, it looks like Napster has just about won it from PropWash FPV. Uh, Coming in first is KXA FPV, second is AJ, and the third one to qualify is going to be Napster.
All right, so KXA, AJ, and Napster. These three pilots go into race number 3. So all 6 pilots now, Vardna, Adiputra is Napster, and AJ and KXA. Please get ready on your podium, and we will be again unlocking that server to get the guys who have qualified from race number 1 back into the high street.
I must say, Hornet FPV, like, if there wasn't for your issues, I think you'd have made a very big threat to the people who are flying in the race 3. It's just so sad to see Hornet FPV face so many issues just before this racing actually took place.
All right, so Hornet is no longer there, and then we have is FPB out there, and then again Napster, seeing him back again, and Vardna, welcome back Vardna. So very tough one, Raki. This is going to be the best of the best pilots taking out there. It's going to be such close, isn't it, in the terms of milliseconds?
I think it was a very close competition, and this round is going to be even closer. The top 2 pilots qualifying to the next tier of the D1 racing, I think it'll be a very big step up for them. And the third place, I guess getting a few Singaporean dollars. If it's an Indian pilot, they'll be PayPal to it, obviously,
All right, so
or any international pilot for that
looks
matter.
like we have all the 6 pilots ready to go. We will give you about 45 seconds on the clock starting now. And till then, we will just take a look at how these pilots look so that we have a better understanding of this group from a better view out there. They must be, again, taking a bit of practice rounds right now. KXA out there. Let's see how AJ looks. He's not flying at the moment. Napster is definitely a diehard of practicing as much as he can because he's not somebody who relents under the pressure. He's somebody who goes for the kill, and Prop Wash also has to give it all. I'm sorry, this is not. This is the earlier chart, but again, so. Each of these pilots have to give their full best if they have to really make it and win it from here.
So let me just run down the names of the people who have qualified for race 3. We have Adiputra, who is from Singapore, AJ, who is from Brunei. Then we have Is FPV, who is from Singapore. We have KXA, who is from Singapore. We also have Napster FPV, who is from India. And we have Rune, who is also from Singapore. So I think Singapore is going to see quite a lot of. I mean, it's pretty much a Singapore versus India sort of a race at the moment.
Okay, so let's see which country celebrates tonight. It's going to be either Singapore or India, and
Or even Brunei. Sorry,
or
my
even
bad. I
Brunei.
forgot about the
All
Brunei.
right, so 45
Uh,
seconds are up,
about
guys.
AJ.
Let's get ready on the podium. Your race is going to start in less than 5. Tuned in through the eyes of KXA. The heat number 1 of the final race coming up between the top guys in Asia. 6 racers. viewers again, those who have just joined us, this is the first encounter between the D1X1, D1X IDRL Professionals Series Pro League, and top racers across Asia are competing, including the fans from India. You should be happy that Indian pilots are also out here, along with competing with some of the best of the best from Singapore, Malaysia, Brunei, and others.
This is
KXA.
actually such close racing. They're almost one gate off of each other. One FPV, I think, has made very few mistakes, and that's pushed him into the lead. And KXA FPV is very close to him, but not close enough to, in the sense that Werner can make another mistake and get away with it. But we can see that AJ and his FPV are trading places right now. I think the FPV feed would look brilliant.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, let's take a look at the 3D person view and let's tune into where's the competition really happening? Yeah, that's going against AJFPB. Those are exactly each other, at the tail of each other. So it's really going to be anybody's game. It's going to be either Is or AJ. Look at that, back to back. Is slightly in the front of AJ. AJ is following it up
Just
with
had
the.
a small bit of a crash, and because of which Napster has actually overtaken AJ as well. But
Wow.
let's see if Napster can actually hold on to the lead and give the competition, or sorry, take the competition to his FPV and take the third place finish for obviously the people here in India.
Right. So, relaxed out there is Vodna. Vodna is really stepped it up. It's going to be a breakthrough time for Vodna. Look at that. We're right now looking into the 3D view of Vodna. We should also take a look at.
Wardna just finished the race. I think he was I think he's just smoked the competition. There's no other way to say it because the person KXAFPV we've been seeing in the last heat was turning out to be one of the fastest guys. He has just finished. I think that's a huge 12 seconds lead, and they had a 10 gate difference among themselves.
Yeah, and Vodna has been playing very, very consistent too. I think it was just one round that he, just got lost to some of the gates or something. But so far, he's been very consistent. And interesting to see Adiputra also, who's completed in quick time. All these pilots are quick, but it's going to be just the time difference, either in seconds or milliseconds. Look at that. The chart right now looks like Vodna up there, 33 seconds complete, 1 minute 43 seconds overall. KXA a little bit behind, 1 minute 55 seconds, is also a little bit behind, 2 minutes 11 seconds. Adiputra and Napster, that was really close, 500 milliseconds of a difference between both of them. And AJ underscore, he will really have to come back because he'll not only have to come back with Adiputra and Napster, but if he has to have a real chance, have to really get it under that 2 minute of a time. So again,
I
40.
think Warner FPV is showing that consistency is key, and seeing that he didn't really crash anywhere in the race, and even though he did, I don't think it affected him that much because he had a very consistent start from lap one. I think he'd been going consistently well, and that really took him ahead of the competition, and it just shows that maybe he is one of the better pilots, and he does deserve the promotion that he's going to get after this race.
Well said, guys. So we have about 15 seconds on the clock for you, and we will be starting the round number two in, heat number two in just a few seconds. There you go. 8, 7, 3, 2, 1, and the podium we have less than 5. Tuning in right through the eyes of AJ underscore. And he takes off with the other pilots. Look at that.
Adiputra getting a lightning start. I think we should be tuning into the 3D view right now because they were very close up till the dive gate, and now we'll start to see that the real good pilots like Werner FPV just overtaking Adiputra, and hopefully Werner does. I mean, at least for Werner, I think he would want to keep up this lead in comparison to that of Adiputra, and Adiputra is trying to give him very good competition, but Werner FPV I think has practiced a lot more, and I think Werner just had a bit of a mistake, but it just shows that Werner FPV had been practicing quite a bit before this, clutching the first, not even clutching, sorry, just straight up whitewashing the competition at the start of the heat. I mean, at the heat one.
But look at that. Adiputra now is so confident. He's right up there. I mean, it was looking like Vodna would take it all the way. But Adiputra, I don't know, some magic has happened, and he's really showing his best form out here in front of the top pilots.
I think Adiputra just wants to to stick one out for Werner because he did lose out to Werner from I mean the race one, heat two and three. So I think they're just joshing about at the moment, and they're like, oh, guess what? I may be first, and all these things. I think they're playing head games with each other. But I think Werner FPV is still very close to Adiputra and
Wow, yeah,
just
it's a
might
gate of a
overtake him.
difference. Gate of a difference here. It's going to happen right now or never for Vodna. Just about the last few gates remaining into the last leg of this heat. If Vodna can,
Werner just had a crash.
oh
Werner
my
just
God, and
I think
Vodna
Warner
has,
was pushing his limits quite a bit, and he did have a small crash, and
right.
that did
But it was still
mean
so
that
close. It was
it was a
under a
very
second.
yes,
Yeah.
it was very 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 close racing. Yes, it is actually under a second. That is about 900
And
milliseconds
right now,
difference
the
between the two
competition
of them.
between KXA and Napster. Look at that. KXA and Napster. Can Napster pull it? Uh, oh my God. These are exactly the gate. Oh, Napster has pulled it. Oh my God.
Wow, that was
Amazing.
actually I think that would have been very close to a photo finish again.
Right.
I think we're seeing a very good trend here that I think at least the top four pilots or the at least what we saw during the qualifiers is that these top six pilots are very close to each other, and in fact, Werner FPV just
Right. So
sorry for the interruption.
no problem. So, this heat was kind of fantastic to watch because Adiputra was leading all the way. Verdna closed the gap at the very end, and it was looking like Verdna would take it from there on. But then Adiputra clinged onto his time and took the first spot. And then again, Napster with competing with KXA. So it was just like one-on-one. These pilots were taking, like just like what we have at IDRL format, one-on-one pilots taking on each other. This time it was Napster coming back from behind to take over KXA, and AJ underscore and is also AJ underscore actually came back at the very last point and took over his FPV. So before any further thing, let's draw a
Karan, I think first thing we should be doing is switching the live, I mean the live scoring sheet to race three because that gives us a clearer picture of who's winning and who's not.
All right, cool. So we'll switch that sheet now.
How many more seconds do the pilots have on the timer?
We'll just fix this, let them practice, no problem.
All right.
All right, so interact and let's see. You can scroll down to race number 3. There you go on your board, and you'll be locking that one. So that's the story so far. Rati, if you can read it so far till heat number 2, what's on the score charts for them?
Yeah, let me just have a look at it. I think we're seeing that one FPV is still ahead of Adiputra. Adiputra is also in second place with KXA FPV being in third place. So if this is the kind of consistent score, then we'll see that Varun and Adiputra actually going forward and getting their due promotions for the amount of practice they've put in and the amount of hard work they've put in for this race. And then we'll see that maybe KXA FAV getting the cash bonus that he is getting.
All right. So, okay, guys. So it seems to be fixed. We'll give you about 20 seconds, the last 20 seconds to practice, and we will be going on the podium after that. So 10 seconds remaining. Get ready, guys. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the race starts in less than 5. The last one, the last heat coming up, and this is going to be the decider one for these pilots who will be taking spot number 3, 2, 1. Do comment below, and it's going to be, look at that, the sparks are flying. We have to quickly switch through to the 3D view, and a fantastic display of drone racing is happening right here on this D1 racing track industrial zone. With IDRL, D1 IDRL professionals are competing on an international scale, and Adiputra is leading the pack out of them. Adiputra seems to be the one who will be taking on and championing him all the way. But Vodna has taken it up right now, and wow.
I think Adiputra just had a small bit of a crash entering the helicopter gates. Again, the helicopter gates actually take you from being such wide gates to being actually such narrow gates that it does affect your performance. And we also see Adiputra lose out to his FPV as well. Is this it for Adiputra? Is he not going to get the promotion that he has been working hard for? Obviously, Warner FPV has taken off, and he has quite a huge margin ahead of him. And I think it's safe to say that Warner FPV will be getting the due promotion that he has been working so hard for.
And yeah, I mean, Adiputra was struggling a little bit over there with his FPV. His FPV is giving him a little bit of a nightmare out there on the track, but seems to be in control right now, Adiputra. So let's see where the competition is right now. Really, all
I
the
think the
pilots have
third
separated
place
out.
KXA FPV suddenly has dropped to last position, and he is very close to beating Napster. I think Napster is not flying anymore. I think, yeah, Napster sadly has been disconnected. I think it's because of the bad internet. But sadly enough, KXA FPV just beating Napster FPV because of Napster FPV's internet connection. KXAFPV may I don't know what his positioning will be after this race because I think we were very close to seeing him qualify for the I mean qualify and get the promotion but or the cash prize, but I don't think he is going to get that.
Yeah, so Verdna have completed. Adiputra is all these three pilots. They were looking good all the way from the start. Race one contestants are doing well in this heat. Have done an AJ underscore KXA and Napster. We right now tune into. They're just about to complete their share of the gates. I was really expecting KXA to have done a really little bit better out here because he was right up there in heats number 1 and 2. But right now with spot number 5, even Napster has, Napster. Okay, Napster got disconnected, got stuck. I don't know what happened there, but KXA definitely should have gone for the kill in this heat one.
I
We
think KXA is just limping back to the race, and I think he's just finished it right now. But we did see very close racing from Adiputra and his FPV. I'm so sorry, guys. I forgot. This is actually ongoing series, so we will keep seeing these guys on and on and on. And after that, after this season has ended, then is the only time that Varna and Adiputra, as we've just seen right now, will get their promotions. So hopefully they do pretty well. So all the best to Adiputra and Varna FPV.
right.
Same goes to his FPV and all these people.
So
I think Napster just lost out, sadly enough. I think he would have taken the race to these guys, and Hornet FPV again disconnecting, and he did mess himself up. Otherwise, he was very much up there with AJ and KXA FPV.
Right, so we'll just show you the last kind of a display out here because it's the league table that we are trying to get you into from the score charts. And let's see if, yeah, so that's, let's see out here. Sorry for the last minute frame, but we'll have something for you. It's important one. That's why we are showing you at this moment. It's the professionals league table that has been just updated for you. So let's see if we can quickly uh, go out here and into the professionals league tab. All right, so let's put that out here and interact with this thing. All right, and then take you into the professionals league tab. Hmm. Okay, seems to be still loading out there for some reason. Okay, there you go. And yeah, that's the league table right now. Pilot, if you can see on the screen. Just hold on for a few seconds. Yep. So that's it. We are professionals league table right now. Wordna FPV is up with 350 points. Adiputra with the end of this game 310 points. Is FPV is 240 points. KXA FPV is 210 points. AG underscore is 190. Napster gets on the board with 180. Procwash on the board 100. Pamela's with 80. Hornet FPV with 70. OSS FPV with 70. And Dev FPV Web with 50. And finally, the 12th position is Lemon is dude 0 points right now. So we'll be waiting for him in the next match. So that's what we are ending this show with, and definitely we'll be coming back on the next day. We'll be releasing some of the timings and the days for you again. Mostly it's going to be the next Sunday, as per as I know. So do tune in, do subscribe to D1 Racing and IDRL on our Facebook and YouTube pages, and you'll be getting automatically notified when we go live next. And we'll be continuing this D1 Racing Cross IDRL Pro League Championships Season 2, and it's going to be a great one, a great collaboration between D1 Racing and IDRL. Again, I thank D1 Racing. I thank all the pilots, international pilots, for cooperating with us. I thank all the viewers who tuned in today, and definitely it's going to be even more insane and magical the next time coming around. I also thank Rati, who has been a very good commentator, and he has tuned in from
Thank you so
Bangalore.
much, Karan.
And again, the sponsors: One Martian Bay, IRC, GetTBS.in, Quadcopters, and ZDR Sign Drone Racing. So that wraps up our game today, and we will see you next time. So right now, do enjoy a good Sunday if you are in both Singapore and India, and we will be watching you next time. So goodbye and good day. Thank you very much.